Hey guys, we're so excited that you decided
Yes,
to join
we
us
are.
for the
Very
Summer
much so.
Reset Challenge. This is going to be amazing. So we're going to jump right into this orientation right now. So again, welcome. We're so excited you decided to join us, and we are really we are all set to share with you what God has been revealing to us. And what we've come to realize is just how much we need restoration
Oh,
in this
yeah.
fast-paced world. So
Yeah, that's been a big thing for this, putting this all together. And we've been going through the reset format and challenge. It's been amazing for us. But this summer reset, it's going to help you give yourself permission to position yourself for rest, for recovery, and restoration. It's going to help you focus on the restoration of you, what God is revealing to all of you, your heart, your soul, your mind, and your strength. It's going to encourage you to understand, God has designed us for this. He's designed
really
us for
has.
rest, for recovery, for restoration. And He has already established patterns and rhythms and practices for our restoration. So also we hope that you're going to begin to understand that your restoration, it's going to strengthen your relationship with God. It's going to strengthen your relationship with yourself and with your spouse, as well as other people. But your most important relationships are going to be affected positively through this.
it's amazing. We've divided up the 14-day challenge by establishing a private members area for you. And every 2 days, we'll be able to access the new video and workbook that will guide you through the challenge for the days coming up. You'll be exploring God's truth, applying the reset framework, becoming familiar with the 5 A's, the influencers of restoration, answer the TPQs, the thought-provoking questions that will help you make some decisions and establish your next steps and lead you into a new faith vision and affirmations needed to experience restoration.
Oh yeah, that is the great thing about it. You're going to have some outcomes. You're going to have some things written at the end of each of the 2 days. The outcome of the reset is going to lead you to 2 of God's highest priorities for you. Number 1, the condition of your heart. And number 2, your God-given imagination. God wants your heart, soul, mind, and strength fully restored, and for you to expand your ability to see beyond your current circumstances, to look
important.
into your future with a faith vision. The Summer Reset Challenge, it's got a framework, and it includes a simplified process. We've given you some strategic positioning and a powerful, powerful purpose. By completing the framework, you're going to be making some decisions that lead you into restoration. And over the next 14 days, we're going to be focused on specific areas of restoration together. But our hope is that after the challenge, as you become more and more familiar with the framework, after the challenge, you're going to be able to apply this formula when you feel a need to get restored and to get reset and position yourself for restoration.
That's right. We all share in the challenges and experiences of getting bombarded these days with notifications, alarms, texts, emails, phone calls, requests, social media, news, commercials. It keeps going on.
Yeah.
There's so many distractions and interruptions that affect the condition of our heart, our God-given imagination, our faith vision, and these disruptions tug us away from our greatest priorities, our most important relationships. You're going to hear that a lot. Our relationship with God, our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with our spouse is constantly in competition with the world's desire for our time, our attention, but most of our affection.
Yeah, right? I think that is so worth repeating because we don't realize it, but we need to say it again. Because this is a reality that we have to face. There are repetitive distractions. They're competing against our most important relationships for our time, our attention, and our affection. So, like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe and give us a 5-star rating over and over and over again. We give our time, our attention, our affection away in little teeny bite-sized pieces, small enough to continue to go unrecognized.
And
We
that's
don't
so key
even
right
realize
there,
it.
that unrecognized. They're such small little pieces
Right.
that we don't recognize that we're giving them away.
Right, exactly. And that's just the way things work these days. But we've got to awaken to the subtle depletion and the change taking place within the condition of our heart and our God-given imagination.
We do.
We really start limiting ourselves and giving ourselves away. You know, all of these distractions over time, they can lead to something else really weird that we've noticed that starts to happen. When we become frustrated, we've seen this in other couples too, when we become frustrated by this condition of slowly getting drained and unfulfilled, we begin to blame the very ones we love the most for not filling our cup. Right?
Right.
For being drained. It must be your fault, right?
start
But
to
our
blame
spouse,
others.
our spouse often gets the blame for this shift in our priorities. And meanwhile, the culprits at creating this division and fatigue are just left unchecked and they're unrecognized. We don't even realize what's going on. So the threats competing against us remain. We don't even know they're responsible. And meanwhile, what happens? Our relationships, they continue to suffer. But we have in our favor,
Yes, we do.
this is so cool, a God who pursues us and seeks us and to be in relationship with us for the very purpose of restoration. He wants to restore our heart, our mind, our soul, and our strength. He wants to restore all of us. And God desires to restore you and lead you to the freedom to expand your faith vision of what lies beyond your current circumstances. He wants you to have a vision. He wants you to have a hope for the future. But He has created us with a God-given imagination. So the restoration of you leads to restored relationship with God, with yourself, and with your spouse.
That's right. The relationship with God and your spouse is a supernatural faith design and is powerful and purposeful. Repeating and applying these steps of faith will lead you into the personal experience of God working in your life and your marriage, and you will begin to notice Him attending to the condition of your heart. As you continue to meditate on and accept His truth, His word in your life, you will be renewing your mind through your God-given imagination and faith vision. We've all watched the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
And we are drawn to the discipline and the desires of these athletes to win and win big. Use your God-given imagination to visualize yourself as a champion in training. Sword
good.
drawn,
Ooh,
right?
I like
Sword
that.
drawn, the word of God,
Yeah.
going on the offense to prepare and renew your mind for battle in this epic and heroic journey called marriage.
Man, it gives you the chills a little bit, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
All champions must embrace the need for the importance of restoration and recovery regularly in order to be at their best, physical, mental, and emotionally, and spiritually, to meet the challenge and win.
Yeah, restoration is part of the training process
Right.
for a lot of these people that that are in challenges, and we're in challenges. So
We are.
God is so cool how this has become a part of His plan for us. After all, right? He created the universe,
Right.
And then what happened on the seventh day?
He
He
rested.
rested, right? So restoration was part of His plan, and He even participated. He established the Sabbath as a day of rest for each week. He designed us to rest and restore every single day at night through sleep. He's got patterns and rhythms of restoration already put in place for us. But you know what? It's so cool. Jesus frequently went into the wilderness to meet with God, right? And to become restored for the next part of His journey. He got away. And that's so important for us to do too.
That's right. We want to bring your attention to a couple of things to consider before the challenge starts so you can begin to position yourself for success and rest, recovery, and restoration.
Yeah.
We are going to be encouraging you to create an atmosphere that is free from distractions and interruptions as you encounter the framework of the challenge over the next 14 days.
It might be a little tough, but we're giving you a heads up.
That's right. We recommend that you create at least 2 quiet spaces to clear your head and space of having an atmosphere that is clutter-free, peaceful, and beautiful. We highly recommend that you consider a comfortable outdoor space and surround yourself in nature.
Definitely.
This is both biblical
Right.
and scientific in its ability to restore us. Keep it simple at first. Then perhaps explore other parks or scenic places that you can choose as a quiet space free of distraction for you, and that will lead you into some adventures with God. Your indoor space should be clutter-free, and consider bringing the outdoors in with plants, and signs of nature. Even a picture of nature have been proven to promote feelings of restoration. Just finding a small corner of a room that's quiet and clean is a good start.
Yeah, so each day we'll be presenting some scriptural truths for you to ponder and spend time thinking over. And we're encouraging you to consider the scriptures with a faith action format in the space that you've created. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But first, as you enter your quiet space, just look around. Notice the beauty of the surroundings. Do some deep breathing. Begin to let go and clear some headspace. But start to quiet yourself. And then when you're ready, start with prayer. Simple conversation to say, hello, God, I'm here, acknowledging your presence. You know, if this is a new pattern for you, man, awesome, great. Just trust the process. So position yourself into your quiet space, settle in, pray, read the scriptures, listen, think, and acknowledge God's presence. That's the faith action format for your quiet time.
Faith action
So
format.
the workbook also is going to lead you through the reset framework, and it's going to help you establish a summary at the end of that time and a mindset toward restoration. Now, the process of repetition and immersion, repeating and applying what you're learning over and over again, is going to help you establish and simplify new patterns that are going to lead to the restoration of you and your greatest relationship. Now, we want to get you familiar with the reset framework that we'll be using throughout the challenge. Now, we're going to go through this quickly, but you're going to be hearing it over and over and over again.
And you're going to see it.
So this is your first look. So we're going to throw it up here for you to take a look at. The Summer Reset Challenge exists with the reset framework. Now, you'll notice the word reset. Every letter of that word means something in the process. And this is designed to help you remember the process much easier. So the word reset. R is for restore, establishing what you need. This is establishing, what do I need to reset? What do I need to restore? Am I troubled in my mind? Is my heart struggling? Whatever it is, you're going to establish that. Then E, explore. You're going to acknowledge the threats of what's going on, and you're going to look into the benefits of getting beyond those threats. Then you're going to S, simplify. Simplify patterns and routine that are going to lead you into restoration. And E is for experience. You're going to begin journaling the adventure. You're going to start recognizing where God is at work and what he begins to do in you. And then T, the letter T, for think. This is going to help you develop a faith vision. And remember, we talk about this leading us into a written faith affirmation. So also with that reset framework, we are going to introduce the 5 A's, which we call the restoration influencers. The 5 A's stand for atmosphere, attitude, action, adventure, and affirmation. And Sonny's going to talk a little bit about how we connect those restoration influencers with the reset format.
That's right. So every part of the reset, we're going to have a TPQ, a thought-provoking questions. And these questions are going to help us make some decisions and establish your next steps in the reset framework. So the reset framework combines with the TPQs and takes us into restoration influencers that help us make a decision. So each word of the reset framework has a restoration influencer attached to it. So restore. The TPQ leads you to make some decisions about the atmosphere, our first A, that is influencing our restoration. And then explore for RE. So explore, the TPQ leads you to make some decisions about your attitude that is influencing your restoration. Then we go to S for simplify. The TPQ, again, helps us make some decisions about the actions that will influence our restoration. And then we've got experience. The TPQ takes us to adventure, experiencing God. And then the last one, think. Our TPQ takes us into affirmation, and this will give us a new perspective on helping you develop your faith vision through using your God-given imagination.
Yeah.
So at the end of each session, you will end up with a personal I am statement that is written as if it already happened.
It is so powerful when we realize that God is inviting us into the process of restoration, and there are ways that we can influence that. So the reset summary outcomes, and remember, there's two of God's greatest priorities that he's addressing: the condition of your heart, all of you, heart, soul, mind, and strength being restored, and your God-given imagination to see beyond your circumstances and into a faith vision of hope and a future restored.
So remember, the restoration of you will lead to the restoration of your most important relationships with God, yourself, and with your spouse. Of course, others as well. We can't wait to meet with you and join you in this process of restoration and summer reset. So get creative and start thinking about thinking through and creating an outdoor and an indoor peaceful atmosphere, and position yourselves for the rest and recovery that you are so longing for.
It's all about positioning, guys. Pay attention to that.
Start considering the condition of your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and your God-given imagination, and see yourself as a champion in training with a need and desire to embrace the process of restoration for the journey at hand.
All right.
Let's get going.
Let's go.
We'll see you soon.